The next morning at the mansion, Blessing woke to birdsong and sunlight, peaceful, steady. The first taste of the life she never thought she'd have. But months later, in the middle of a busy workday, everything stopped, and what the doctor said next would leave her, and everyone who loved her, absolutely speechless. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for always watching my videos. I appreciate your support. Now let's dive into part 4. A soft knock stirred her from sleep. Blessing's eyes fluttered open, the morning light spilling gently across the room. For a moment, she didn't move. Still cocooned in the warmth of the bed, her hand resting on her chest, listening again to the slow, steady rhythm of her heart. Still here, still beating, still healing. Another knock followed. Light, polite. She sat up slowly, brushing a stray curl from her cheek. "Yes?" she called, her voice still husky from sleep. The door creaked open just enough for a uniformed maid to peek in. "Good morning, Miss Miller. Breakfast will be ready in 20 minutes. Mr. Hartman asked me to let you know." Blessing nodded. "Thank you." As the door closed, she slipped out of bed, the plush carpet warm beneath her feet. The room felt even more beautiful in the daylight, pale blue drapes billowing slightly, soft light dancing off the gold fixtures, and the faint sound of birdsong drifting in from the garden. She dressed quickly, choosing a light sage blouse and soft cream pants, something elegant but easy. She brushed her curls, added a touch of gloss to her lips, and took a breath. Then she made her way down the hall to Mary's room and knocked. "Come in," Mary called brightly. Blessing stepped inside and paused, blinking. "Wow, your room looks exactly like mine. This place doesn't miss a detail." Mary laughed, her curls pulled up into a messy bun as she stood at the vanity applying a bit of mascara. "Tell me everything. Everything." Blessing leaned against the doorframe, her cheeks warming at the memory. "He kissed me." Mary spun around, eyes wide. "Shut up! No, he didn't!" Blessing grinned, folding her arms. "Under the tree. Last night. It was soft, gentle, like he meant it." Mary squealed, grabbing a pillow and tossing it at her. "You're glowing, like post-fairy tale level glowing?" Blessing laughed. "Okay, your turn. I saw you and Joel deep in conversation." Mary smirked. "We may have kissed, too. Just a little. He's charming, and really funny when he's not trying so hard." They exchanged looks, both of them giggling like teenagers at a sleepover. And for a moment, it wasn't about business or betrayal or rebuilding. It was about joy. When they made their way down to the back patio, the sun was warm and bright. The garden was alive with color. Roses, lavender, tall sunflowers swaying gently in the morning breeze. A long outdoor table was set for breakfast. Fresh-baked pastries, fruit platters, pitchers of orange juice, and iced tea. And standing near the table was Gabriel, his sleeves rolled up, his hair tousled by the wind, holding the hand of a little boy. Mark. He looked up when they approached, wide blue eyes blinking with curiosity. He clung to his father's side, half hiding behind him. Gabriel smiled. "Ladies, there's someone I want you to meet." He crouched beside the boy and spoke softly. "Mark, this is Blessing, and that's Mary. Can you say hello?" Mark peeked out, shyly raising one hand in a little wave. Blessing knelt to his level, offering the kind of warm smile that children seem to trust instantly. "Hi there," she said gently. It's so nice to meet you, Mark. He hesitated, then stepped out just enough to shake her hand. Mary followed with her usual cheerful ease. Hi, Mark. I heard you like strawberries. I do too. That earned a small smile from the boy, and a glance up at Gabriel, who looked relieved and proud all at once. They all sat down to eat, Mark nestled between Gabriel and Blessing, slowly opening up as Mary told a silly story about mistaking sea salt for sugar in a recipe. Mark giggled. Blessing's heart melted. The rest of the weekend unfolded like a quiet dream. They went for walks through the orchard behind the estate, Gabriel showing them the fig trees he used to climb as a boy. They played board games in the sunroom, took Polaroids by the fountain, and spent lazy afternoons reading books while Mark dozed on the chaise lounge, his little hand curled around Blessing's. Gabriel and Blessing talked for hours, about their childhoods, about faith, about the kind of future they wanted to build. He asked about her dreams beyond business. She asked about his fears as a single father. There was no rush between them, no pressure, just space to breathe, to connect, to be. And every time Gabriel looked at her, really looked, it stirred something deeper. Not just attraction, possibility. On Sunday night, as the sun dipped low and cast golden light across the garden, Blessing stood at the edge of the lawn with Mark beside her, watching butterflies dance around the flower beds. Gabriel came up behind them, resting a gentle hand on her back. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for coming, for being exactly who you are." Blessing looked up at him, her heart full. She didn't reply with words. She didn't have to, because everything she felt, hope, healing, and the beginning of something precious, was already written across her smile. The following weeks unfolded like a dream that Blessing never wanted to wake up from. With Gabriel's multi-million-dollar investment and a string of new clients rolling in, Ascend Strategies soared to new heights. Blessing moved her team, now 5 strong, into a sleek, modern office space in the heart of the city, complete with floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furnishings, and a glass-walled conference room that she had only once dared to imagine. Mary stood beside her on moving day, arms folded and eyes gleaming. "From my living room to this," she said, blinking back tears. "Look at what you've done." Blessing smiled, placing a hand over her heart. "We did this." As their professional lives flourished, so did her relationship with Gabriel. They were no longer just business partners. They were becoming inseparable, intentional about their time together. There were candlelit dinner dates at cozy French restaurants where they sat on the same side of the booth, laughing over wine and dessert. Lunch breaks became mini adventures, a quick bite at a tucked-away Thai spot, or walking hand in hand through the park, sharing street food and dreams. But it was the afternoons in Gabriel's backyard garden that Blessing cherished most. She and Gabriel would spread a blanket under the large weeping willow. Mark nestled between them, drawing or asking innocent questions about butterflies and clouds. Blessing had grown to love the child with every soft smile, every sleepy cuddle, every small hand reaching for hers. It wasn't just romance anymore. It was becoming home. One evening, as the stars blinked awake in the night sky, Gabriel turned to her on the patio and gently took her hand. "I want to take you somewhere," he said. She tilted her head. "Where?" "Nepal," he said, eyes twinkling. "Just the 2 of us. A week. Off the grid. Mountains. Peace. You've earned it. Mary can manage things. And if anything comes up, you're only a phone call away." She hesitated, her responsible side flaring. but it only lasted a second. "I'd love that," she whispered. Their journey to Nepal was nothing short of breathtaking. They stayed in a luxurious eco-lodge tucked into the hills of Pokhara, overlooking the shimmering Paiwa Lake, with the snow-capped Annapurna Range rising in the distance like something from a painting. The mornings were crisp, wrapped in mist, the scent of fresh earth and mountain air intoxicating. They hiked hand in hand through terraced fields and quiet villages, stopping to talk with locals and sip tea from clay cups. Gabriel took photo after photo of her, laughing, wind in her curls, standing on a cliff's edge like a goddess in command of the sky. One morning, they watched the sunrise from Sarankot. As the golden light spilled across the peaks, Blessing leaned into Gabriel's chest, her heart full. "This place? It's magic," she whispered. Gabriel kissed the top of her head. "So are you." They visited ancient temples, kayaked across the lake, and spent long afternoons on the lodge balcony, wrapped in blankets, watching the world go still. At night, under the stars, they embraced one another like time stood still, gentle, profound, and deeply comforting. It was more than affection. It was a moment of healing. Two broken souls finding strength and peace in each other, together. By the time they returned, their bond had deepened into something undeniable. They were no longer falling. They had landed. 6 weeks later, Blessing was in her office reviewing a proposal when the room spun around her. The floor tilted and the lights dimmed. Then everything went black. Mary screamed as she collapsed, racing to her side and calling 911. Within minutes, she was rushed to the hospital. Mary, panic in her eyes, immediately called Gabriel. He was in the middle of a board meeting when his phone lit up. The moment he heard the words, "Blessing," and collapsed, he bolted from the room without a word and drove like a madman through the city. He arrived at the hospital breathless, wild-eyed, and terrified. Mary met him in the hallway. "She's awake. They're running tests, but the doctor should be out any minute." And then the doctor came. Tall, calm, holding a clipboard and wearing a gentle smile. "Miss Miller is stable," he said, "but you may want to sit down for this." Gabriel's heart stopped. "What's wrong?" The doctor smiled wider. "Nothing's wrong. In fact, congratulations." He looked at Blessing. "You're pregnant." The room went still. Blessing blinked. What?" Gabriel's jaw dropped. "Are you serious?" The doctor nodded. "About 6 weeks along, perfectly healthy." Tears filled Blessing's eyes. She looked at Gabriel, her lips trembling. "I'm going to be a mother?" He moved to her side instantly, kneeling beside her bed. He took her hands in his own eyes wet. "And I'm going to be a father. Again." Mary, standing at the foot of the bed, gasped and immediately burst into joyful sobs. "I knew something was glowing about you." They all laughed, cried, and held one another in that tiny hospital room like the world had just begun again. If you enjoyed the story, please consider subscribing, liking the video, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Click the playlist for more. Stay tuned for Part 5. See you next time, and remember, love is free.